is spinning round and round and round. It's true every time I start to think about all the possibilities of me and you. Round and round.
A way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Is that really true? And how often do we cook and entertain at home? Welcome to Dating 201. I'm Gloria McDonald, and today we're talking about how to impress a date at home. And my guest today is Susan Cates of DinnerWorks. Welcome, Susan.
Great to be here.
It's super to have you, and I know you've been on the show on numerous occasions, and we've featured your events. But for any of our viewers who haven't seen that, tell us just a little bit about what you do at DinnerWorks.
Yes, thank you. DinnerWorks is basically a singles networking company. We do 3 different things. We have our dinners that are done in small, sort of intimate groupings, and then we have what we call speed dating slowed down in larger groups. Then we have our events, of which we do cooking classes, and I have a personal matchmaking service.
Super. So we live in a great big huge city with tons of restaurants, and you can go inexpensive and ethnic, or super chic and really expensive. And we spend so much of our time these days with entertaining around food, and it seems like we spend an awful lot of time out in restaurants. How often do you think people are still entertaining at home and actually cooking a great meal at home?
Well, I don't think often enough, actually.
Okay.
I think it would be great if people did it a little bit more, because it's a much more inviting environment. It's warmer, it's more loving, it's more nurturing, and basically that's what men really like. They like to be in that sort of nurturing environment, and women like to be in that as well. So I think it's much better to be in sort of a homey type of environment.
And so do you believe that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Without question. I think it's because what men are looking for is someone who's a little more nurturing and someone who's loving. Again, all those things that we were talking about. And that's the way to get to them, is provide them with a great meal, and you never know what might happen.
You heard it here, ladies. But we have a very interesting segment we're going to go to now with our Bachelor Paul and a cooking class with Chef Carmen of Amuse Culinary Services.
Well, I asked Carmen to come over because she has some expertise in cooking, culinary things, and I thought it would be a good idea to have her give me some advice.
Well, today I'm going to be showing Paul how to do Cornish game hens. Cornish game hens, I've chosen them because they're a version of poultry, a little bit more impressive than chicken, and quite beautiful and delicious.
Well, why would I want to impress her at home? Well, because I think it certainly gives her some insight into me, what I'm all about, what's important to me, and we share a common, like I said, a common interest or passion in food. And so why not have that together? Well, Carmen, thanks for dropping by. As you know, I'm desperate for help. Well, not that desperate, but I'd like to at least see what I can do to make a date interesting. And I hear that one of the good ways to do is to have friends over or a date over for dinner. So
it's a great idea,
that's
because food's always been a way to congregate and convene, and people love food.
One time when I was cooking at home, I think it was a meat dish, and of course, fire alarm went off. But too much smoke, or too well done, I guess, as it were. And the fire department came, and I really didn't want to take the chance of another date running off with a fireman. So I thought it might be a good idea to get Carmen instead.
You put it in the oven at 450 degrees.
Okay.
And then you put your timer on, because I always forget. Put your timer on, and after half an hour, reduce the heat.
Now, Carmen, I also see you've prepared what looks to be some rice here.
This is actually just a rice pilaf.
Okay.
And it's mixed rice, it's brown rice and white basmati, but I put a whole bunch of vegetables in it, so it looks really good. And it makes it into the wow factor just by putting those vegetables in. It looks great, tastes fantastic, and it goes with our meal.
Okay, Susan, so first big tip to men, don't burn the meat so the fireman takes off with your date, right?
That's a very good point. Very good point, yes.
Now, it is tough for a lot of guys to throw together an impressive meal. Wouldn't you agree?
I would think so, unless they've gone to culinary school.
Yeah. However, don't you think most women would be really impressed with a man trying to cook dinner for them?
Oh, I think they would be just flattered and blown away.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be a huge extravaganza,
right? No, absolutely not. No.
Because as a woman, I can tell you that I would be hugely impressed if a man tried to cook dinner for me. In fact, my husband did on our first date, actually. So, and I was impressed.
And it worked.
It worked. Yeah, here we are. It worked. And it was very, very, very simple. But he had the candles lit. He had the music all chosen. And I was so impressed that he'd actually thought about it.
That's what it is. It's about the thinking about it and making the effort. It's the effort. But you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with buying certain components of it from the supermarket as well, as long as he makes the effort to show that he cares and he wants to impress you.
Let's go check in with Laura to see what some of you have to say about how to impress your date at home.
Dating at home can be cozy, fun, and affordable, but you have to be ready for it and know how to impress your date. I'm Laura Bellotta. Let's go talk to the people of Toronto and see what they do to impress their dates at home. Hi Josh, how would you impress a date at home?
Well, I think I'd cook her a nice meal first.
Do you know how to cook?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a single man, so I kind of have to cook.
Well, being a psychic, I really have good insight into people, and I would probably do a reading beforehand.
Before he came over?
Before he came over. So I could tell how to act, what I should do, what impresses him, so I kind of have an inside track.
Probably really nice dinner, some really good wine. And
candles?
Ambiance, good music. Have to have good music.
Well, first I'd make her a meal.
They usually have me over.
I would burn cinnamon.
Well, first of all, lighting, mood, and using your sort of self-confidence skills. It's the H1, it's like Hypnosis Plus.
Would you actually make him take you out first and then give him a psychic reading there?
No, I don't even need him there. I do it without him.
I would impress her by making a homemade dinner.
Massage.
Is this the first date?
Sometimes.
Do you have a special dish you make the men?
They like meat.
Any kind of meat?
Any kind of meat.
I do a good spaghetti sauce. Yeah, spaghetti, meatballs.
I cook a lot of veggies and protein. I don't know.
No. Where are you going? It's okay. That's a good answer. Good answer.
Chicken, maybe surf and turf.
It would probably come from the sea. I'll start off with some appetizers with oysters.
Oh.
Work it with some Russian caviar.
Oh.
Yeah. And then finish off with dessert, which would be organic chocolate and organic strawberries.
When am I coming over?
Organic champagne.
I would take a couple of sticks of cinnamon. They're just beautiful and warming, and they just reach out to your heart.
I'm not sure. Maybe some nice music. We kind of have a good conversation, you know.
Check this out. It is a pure essential oil. It is grounding and gorgeous, sweet and mild.
Okay, so that's going to make a guy sort of be all over you?
He's just going to like look for something. He's going to look and look and look, and then he's going to be like, wow, and yeah.
Okay, so you probably wouldn't take that out on the first date, right?
Maybe the third.
So now if a girl was having you over for dinner, what would you expect from her?
Just that she put a little effort in, you know, nothing too crazy. Just a nice meal, regular, something that she would cook on her own, so I kind of know what kind of person she is.
Full dinner, wine, and the ambiance. I want to see that he actually did go to the trouble.
He better cook me dinner.
What if he doesn't know how to cook?
Better learn.
So I'm done here in about an hour.
Me too.
Will you have everything be ready?
Yeah.
So Susan, it sounds like both men and women are very impressed if someone's going to cook them a home-cooked meal, right?
Absolutely.
Not everyone is a trained chef, though. So what are some tips for keeping it simple if you're not that gourmet chef?
Well, again, something really simple is pasta with some sautéed vegetables thrown together, a little bit of Parmesan, and it's done. And if you need to buy something for before or for after, you know, the options are totally open to you. But it's always nice to do something nice.
Great, lots of great tips. Don't go away because we'll be right back after this break to give you some more tips on how to have a fabulous dinner at home.
Round and round, my head is spinning.